I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times, tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on to punt for Detroit. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. New York set to take the field. And last time out they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it. Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
Here we go. What's tight? Tight end's right. What's tight? Tight end's right. Let's go.
It's Barkley on the counter, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They all go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he's on to punt for New York. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Johnson running right. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
250. Stay with your man.
Open man is Galladay, complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on to punt for Detroit. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field.
Here we go.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Faking the give to Barkley. Now Manning. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd down. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 1st down, Giants on a pickup of 14. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Everyone dialed in.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
Now Manning. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. Can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. So here come the Lions now. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They go to Johnson again. Gets out of a little bit of trouble there with a shifty move. He'll take it up past the 6. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there. So from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Stafford. This is Riddick on the screen. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. And the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Charles, any chance they go for it here?
I think that there's a chance. They have to consider it because of the way they've played offense in this game. I mean, look at the scoreboard. Look at the points that they've put up. They feel confident that they can keep it going. But the risk is, and the downside is, you don't get it here, you've set up your opponent in really good field position.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. So it sails out of bounds close to midfield, and they'll say actually right at midfield. And New York set to take the field. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From midfield, here's Manning. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Devon Kennard able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Here's a give to Barkley. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Brings up 3rd down.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. On play action, now Manning. And that will be incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Riley Dixon now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And Detroit getting set to go now.
Waiting. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here's a quick throw complete to Galladay. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here in OT. So not quite out of danger just yet. Still backed up a bit, but only need a few inches here on 2nd down. They'll run it with Johnson. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back.
Check, set, waiting. Get trapped, get trapped.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. B.J. Goodson able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. One overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Throwing is Stafford. The completion to Riddick. It's a 4-yard pickup, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Out of the gun, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. There for the sack, B.J. Hill.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Here's Sam Martin now. And in double overtime, this needs to be a good one. Returning is Peppers. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. And New York set to take the field. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley, and he'll be taken down right around the 27. Rashaan Melvin in on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Play action. Manning. He's got his man. This is Tate. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 17 yards and a Giant 1st down. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
18 Gator. Hey, me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
From just shy of midfield, Manning throwing middle, but it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 3rd and short. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a 1st down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Ready, break. 44th Mike. Check. You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
They fake the handoff. Now Manning under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
That's right. Get off the train tracks, baby. Get off the train tracks.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
65.
Throwing now is Manning. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one good for 26 and a first down. And we continue to see another example here of offenses just going for it.
And this game has really turned into a receiver's dream and a defender's nightmare because no one's being stopped throwing the ball downfield, and points are going on the board.
The previous play is under review.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. Get it.
Shotgun now for Manning. He dumps it off to Barkley. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
And right now it all rests on the right foot of Aldrick Rosas. This to win it in overtime. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and we will play on here in overtime. Well, when you get that ball in OT, that's not the chance you envision, and the long field goal attempt here winds up lacking.
And you don't want to hang too much of this on your kicker, but he's going to leave you in a tough spot as well because you give your opponents excellent field position to start their first drive.
The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Operating from the gun, Stafford, and that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
You got to remember, because now that we're in overtime, mistakes get magnified. So you got to walk that line between being aggressive and being careful, because that was a dangerous throw right there. You obviously could not have an interception in this spot.
And nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back.
Let's make these babies crawl.
Riddick with a carry. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. First down Lions on a pickup of 13. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, "I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along."
Come on. Strong right. Strong right. Strong right.
Here's Riddick. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Offensive line really didn't give him any room to maneuver on that play.
Things closed pretty quickly, didn't they? And how about the wrap-up at the end of that tackle? Left no doubt there would be no additional yardage to be found.
On 2nd down, Johnson. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
It's caught. Jones. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So here's the veteran kicker, Matt Prater. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That's their second and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. So here's the veteran kicker, Matt Prater. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And that will break our tie and give him a 3-point lead. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance out field goals from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through. Not
only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.